Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Charlotte Ashman. Welcome to my channel where we discuss everything educational and inspirational. Now, guys, in today's video, I'll be helping students to prep for the upcoming ability test exam. Guys, I am going to just maximize so you guys can see the screen. Guys, please let me know if you can hear me and if you can see my screen. Can you guys hear me? All right, so you guys can hear me, you guys can see my screen. Awesome. Guys, please remember to just share with everybody that, oh, somebody's saying, Miss, I can hear you, but I cannot see the screen. All right, so let me just adjust the screen so you can see. Guys, please let everybody know that we're live so that they can join us. All right, so I'm going to send out a note to our group to let them know that we're live. All right, guys, we're going to start in a minute. We're going to go through some ability test questions. All right, so let's go, guys. First question on screen says, I is to C as tongue is to. All right, guys, so in the chat, I want you to go ahead and I want you to put what tongue is to. All right, and what I want you to do to students, I want you to indicate why you're selecting a particular answer. All right, so I is to C as tongue is to. Now, I'm not interested in hearing what the answer is. I want to hear how you're thinking. Remember, we spoke about analogies and we said that you're going to look at the first part of the analogy, and then once you find the association, you're going to apply it to the second part, and that's how you're going to solve it, right? So you have I is to C, all right? So you have your eye, that's your sense organ, and I is to C, that's what you use your eyes for, right? So we have the sense organ and we have the use, or the purpose of the sense organ, what it is used for. So now we need to see what we use our tongue for. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and see what you have. Of course, I is to see, and tongue is going to be used for taste. All right, good job. All right, so we're going to scroll up. We have a second analogy, and at this time it says, clock is to time as thermometer is to what? So clock is to time as thermometer is to what? All right, somebody started to tell me already that I should put them up. All right, so clock is to time as thermometer is to. All right, come guys, let me see what you're thinking. So you use a clock to tell the time, and you use a thermometer to tell the temperature, to measure the temperature. So use a clock to measure the time, and you use a thermometer to measure the temperature. So yes, guys, I noticed a lot of you said temperature. All right, good job. All right, here's another one. It says dog is to bark as hen is to what? And guys, remember, we're using a workbook from the Learning Hub Academy. So if you're signed up on the Learning Hub Academy, we're in the rescue course and we're using a workbook from the Academy. All right, so dog is to bark as hen is to cluck, right? So we've recognized that we're looking at the animal and the sound that they make. And so dog is to bark, dog bark, and hen cluck. Good job. All right, guys, here's the question. We're at question number 4. Identify the odd one. All right, so we're looking at the odd one out. So this is a good classification question. So remember what I said about classification questions, guys. With classification questions, you are going to look at all 4 options, and 3 will have something in common. So what you're going to do, you're going to look for that one which does not have that thing in common, and that is going to be the odd one out. So we have pepper, carrot, tomato, banana. All right, so let me see what, we did this one before, and all right, I'm gonna put this up, guys. It's a week to go, and look at what Carissa KRL is saying, Miss Banana, because it's the only fruit. Guys, look at all of them. Pepper, carrot, tomato, banana. Guys, at this point, I'm gonna ask you to do something for me. Could you kindly just share the link with your friends, let them know that we are live? We have a WhatsApp group with over 100 students. Let me just let them know that we are on so they can join us. I want everybody to benefit from the live. All right, guys, let's take a minute and just let everybody know that we are on our YouTube channel and we want them to join us. Guys, while we're at it, I'm going to ask you to just subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. We're trying to grow our channel. So please go ahead and subscribe. All right, guys, in the meantime, just go ahead and enter your answer. All right, so we're at identify the odd one out, and we have pepper, carrot, tomato, banana. And let me see what you guys have. All right, so Norman is saying carrot because it's a vegetable. Tashika, carrot because all the others have seeds. That means they are fruits. Crystal is saying banana because it's a fruit. All right, somebody's still at temperature. All right, guys, so let's talk about this. Guys, it's going to be carrot because all the others are fruits, right? So think about it, guys. Pepper is a fruit, tomato is a fruit, banana is a fruit. So carrot is the only one that's a vegetable, all right? So the answer there is going to be carrot. All right, good job, guys. We did this one already. Chair, sofa, recliner, table. Yes, we looked at this one before. Question number 5. So we did look at question number 5 where we said chair, sofa, recliner. You use those to sit on, they're for sitting. And table, of course, you're using a table to eat. So that's not a piece of furniture that is made for sitting. All right. Yes, some people might sit on a table, but it's not made. The purpose is not for sitting, guys. All right. So table is going to be your odd one out. Okay. All right, guys. At this point, I want to just remind you that we're using the Learning Hub Academy to stream. So all the questions that you're seeing here, they're coming from our book on the Learning Hub Academy. And we want you guys to just go there and sign up. When you sign up for the Learning Hub Academy, you're going to be able to sign up for the rescue course for free, and you get to use it for a day. And if you like the course, then you go ahead and pay for it. All right. So question number 6. The students on the track team awarded their trophies at the prize giving ceremony last month. All right, so this is a great fill in the blank question. The students on the track team awarded their trophies at the prize giving ceremony last month. What's the answer for this one, guys? I want you guys to, yes. I see everybody getting this. It's were. The students were, right? They were awarded their trophies at the prize giving last month. This is another question that, okay, let's
try again.
Oh, I forgot to mention that the books on Learning Hub, they're all interactive. So when you sign up on the Learning Hub Academy, you are going to be using interactive books. All right, so I shared the apples the 3 children. All right, guys. Now, you know, when you share for 3, when you share for 2, it's going to be between. But if you share for 3, then it's going to be among. So let me see what you guys posted. Yes. Okay, guys, I can see you guys are ready. Good job. Yeah. So 2, between, more than 2, it's going to be among. Good job. All right, so we're gonna go. All right, so we're going to jump over to question 14. And question 14, which is a necessary component of a hurricane? I want to actually jump to some quantitative reasoning questions. Which is a necessary component of a hurricane? So you have rain, wind, sea, flood. Guys, I want to hear you tell me why you're selecting the answer that you're selecting. Necessary component. And guys, you are going to get necessary component or essential part in the exam. So guys, remember, for this particular question, you're going to think about it and you're going to say which element you must have in order for a hurricane to be classified as a hurricane. All right. What is it that you must have? That is what necessary component in this case is demanding. What should you have? What you must have? So for the phenomenon to be classified as a hurricane, do we must have rain, wind, sea, or flood? So let's go, guys. Yes. So Jaden is saying wind. All right, let me put up some of the answers that you guys are posting. I'm putting up only answers with explanations, okay? So Jaden is saying wind because you can't have a hurricane without wind. Norman is saying wind because it determines the category the hurricane falls in. Allison is saying wind. Candy Cane is saying wind, as you cannot have a hurricane without wind. Tajari is saying because wind, hurricane, come breeze, after pass through. No, Manala, I don't know what you're saying. All right, Tahari, let me see if I can decipher. Wind because when hurricane come, breeze after pass through miss. All right, so basically, Tahari is saying wind because, with hurricanes, you have winds, right? Yeah. So guys, the answer is wind. All right. So with a hurricane, you can not have rain at some parts of the hurricane, especially during the when the ice passed, then you might have calm. So at some point you might have calm, and there doesn't have to be sea. There doesn't have to be a flood. But one thing that you must have with a hurricane is wind, because yes, the wind actually helps to classify the category of hurricane that you're going to have, the wind speed. All right, so that's a necessary component of a hurricane. I'm trying to jump to some classification. But let's look at a sequence, logical sequence. Arrange the following words in a logical sequence: seedling, seed, plant, flower, fruit. Now, guys, naturally, you're going to get a logical sequence question on the exam, the upcoming exam. You are going to get logical sequence. So let's see, guys, arrange the following words in a logical sequence. And when you see a logical sequence question, guys, all it means is that you are going to look at the question and you're going to determine what is happening, and then it's going to be so easy for you to put the question in sequence. So I see seedling, I see seed, I see plant, I see flower, I see fruit. So the first thing I start saying to myself, what is happening here? All right, I see fruit, I see flower. So I know that, okay, so the plant is going to bear and it's going to have fruit. All right, so I see seedling, I see seed. All right, so we're taking it from seed. So, you plant a seed, then it becomes a seedling, which is a young plant, and then it becomes a plant, and then you have a flower, and then that flower is going to turn into fruit. So we take it from seed, which is 2, Then it becomes a seedling. So we plant the seed and it becomes a seedling. So that's from 2 to 1. Right away, I see that it's option B. So from 2 to 1. And then after it says it becomes a seedling, then it's going to become a plant. So it's going to grow into a plant. So the seed grows into a seedling. The seedling grows into a plant. And then that plant is going to blossom. So that's where you have your flower. So that's 4. And then that blossom becomes a fruit. So that's where 5 is the fruit. All right, so it looks like B. Yes, I see you, my little genius. My little geniuses. Good job. All right, let's look at another question, guys. All right, I'm not going to do the passage because it's on 2 pages. So guys, I want you to just log into the Learning Hub Academy. Log into www.learninghubacademy.com. And I want you to just sign up for the rescue course. To sign up, it's free. Let me put the link. All right, guys, I'm going to give you a challenge. We want to go to 100 students today. We are at 81. Everybody, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Of course, our channel is Pep Talk with Dr. Charlotte Ashman. Subscribe to the channel, guys. And then I want you to just share the links, the link, guys, with your friends. Just let them know that we are live on YouTube so they can join us. I'm going to give every single person on the live a minute to do that. Guys, come on, let's put out a challenge. Can we get to 100 students on a live? So we're at 81. I'm going to give everybody a minute to just share the link in your study group. Right? Just share the link that we are live and join us. Tell persons to join us. In the meantime, we have a question on screen. I want you to just post the answer in YouTube. All right, so I am going to send this out to my group. All right, everybody, I'm giving you a minute, so we're gonna jump back on in a minute, and I want you to just share the live, let persons know that we are on, so they can join us. All right, yeah, that was a minute. So make sure that you share the live with your friends so they know that we're on and we're streaming and we're helping students to prep for the upcoming exam. All right, guys, so look at this question. You have, let me see what you guys are posting. So most persons says C. All right, Stacy started out by saying C. Tristan says C. But guys, one thing I noticed, you're not telling me why this person is saying C because it's ascending. No, man, you guys are not telling me why you're choosing C. All right, Candy Cane is saying C, a lot of C's. But why are you choosing C for the answer, guys? That's a question. Why are you choosing C for the answer? All right, so, all right, notice something here, guys. I have a circle, one circle here. And if you look at this diagram, it's 2. And then I don't know what's going to be here. And if we look at this, we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4 circles. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 circles, right? So if we look at the pattern, guys, we see that this is 1, this is 2, we don't know what should go here, and then this is 4, okay? So if we just look at the pattern, then we know that the circles are increasing by 1, so this is going to be 1, this is 2, so naturally this is going to be 3, and then of course this is 4. So this is 1, 2, 3. All right, so yeah, guys, you are correct. It is 3. All right, so it is C. All right, let's pull another question like this. All right, so this one says, can you tell the missing object? So you have, let me just leave that on screen and let's see if you guys can figure that one out. Can you tell the missing object? Guys, we're at 89. We want to go to 100. So you guys have work to do. Let me see if you can get us there. I believe in you guys. You have 12 persons to go. All right, guys, look at this one. It says, can you tell the missing object? And you have a triangle, you have a square, you have another triangle. So guys, what do we have there? All right, so yes, guys, so if we were to go by, if we were to count sides, you have a 3-sided figure here, a 4-sided figure here, you have a 3-sided figure here. Yep, guys, you are going to have a 4-sided figure again. So this is going to be C for the answer. Good job, guys. Let's see if we can pull another quantitative reasoning question. All right, guys. Ooh, this one looks hard. It says, which number replaces the question mark? So let's see if we can figure this one out. I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to rest that on screen. Guys, we're at 91. We can do it. We need 9 persons to go to 100 students in the class. Yeah, I love that. All right, guys. 93. I am celebrating. Good job. All right, guys. Tell me which number replaces the question mark. All right. So which number replaces the question mark, guys? And I want you to put your explanation in the comment. All right, I'm not seeing the... All right, guys, let's see if we can solve this one. I'm putting it up on screen. I want to see the explanation, guys. I'm not moving on until I see an explanation. It is not good enough for you to just say what the answer is for this one. I want to see if you can explain it. Why are you telling me that that is the answer? No explanation yet, guys. So this question stays on screen. All right, guys. All right, guys. So I want to see an explanation. All right, so a lot of persons are saying D, but nobody's putting up an answer. And I want to know if somebody's saying Miss Pick Me. All right, so what's the answer? Why are you saying D, right? Why are you choosing D for the answer? No, but guys, if you're going to figure out a pattern, then remember now it has to hold true for the 2 that we were given the answers. All right. So let's look at So somebody says, somebody's giving an answer. It says Miss B, because it's adding the top numbers, then dividing by the number at the bottom. All right, so guys, let's add 7 and 8. What do we get when we add 7 and 8, guys? 7 and 8. So we're going to add 7 plus 8. All right, and then we're going to divide by 3. So 7 plus 8 is going to give us 15. And if we divide by 3, yes, we get 5. Let's look at this one, guys. 22 plus 10. 22 plus 10, that's going to give us 32. And if you divide by 2, then you're going to get 16. All right, yeah. So this holds true. This holds true. So let's do that for here. So 9 plus 9, you're going to get 18. And if you divide 18 by 6, what are you going to get, guys? Yeah, you're going to get 3. All right. So in this case, we're adding the top 2 numbers and then we're dividing by the bottom number. That's the pattern there, guys. So in this case, 3 is going to be our answer. Let me see what you guys said. All right. So yes, I see my genius is getting that right. Good job. All right. So good job, Ayo. All right, let's move on to another question. I just have a feeling that you are going to get a number line question in the upcoming exam, naturally. They love to give these number line questions. Let's look at this one. It says, examine the number line below and use it to answer question 24. Which fraction should be at position X? All right, I'm going to put this up on screen for a minute. I want you guys to answer, but I want an explanation. All right, so I don't just want you to put A, B, C, or D. That doesn't make sense. I want you to tell me why you're selecting whatever it is that you're selecting. All right, let's put that up on screen, and let's hear what you guys are saying. So it says, examine the number line below, use it to answer question 24. Which fraction should be at position X? Guys, please do not just put the answer up. I see a lot of you putting up the answer. I want to see what your reasoning is. All right, so I see person saying C. 3/7. A lot of persons saying C. Somebody say you're just counting the numerator. All right, guys. So it says C because it's the only one with the denominator 7. All right, like I said, I believe that you are going to get one of these questions. Let's talk about it for a little bit. All right, so you'll notice that this number line is divided into 7 parts, okay? So we start out at 1/7. Then we have a line that's missing. Then we have X. Then we have another line that's missing. And we have 5/7. And then we have 1. By now, guys, everybody know that when you see 1, if the number line is divided into 7 equal parts, guys, we were at 90 something. We're back at 85. We have 15 to go, guys, before we get to 100. I want you to share the live and invite your friends. Guys, we have over 100 students in our WhatsApp group. Let's please let everybody know that we are live, so we want them to come and benefit. All right, so guys, check this out. When you see 1 here, because the number line is divided into 7 parts, we know that 1 is going to be 7/7, right? So we know that. All right, so if it's divided into 7 parts, each part is 1/7. So this is 1/7, this is 2/7, this is naturally going to be 3/7, this is 4/7, this is 5/7, this is 6/7 here. And we see 1 here, and 1 is 7/7. We know that 7 into 7 is 1. So don't let this one confuse you. This is 7/7, all right? So this, guys, is going to be 3/7. 1/7, 2 over 7, 3 over 7. All right. So we love that, guys. 3 over 7. A lot of you got that correct. Good job. All right. Let's look at another quantitative reasoning question. All right, look at question 28. It says, which number is the smallest? All right, so I'm going to give you guys some time to work this out. So you're going to simplify this, guy. Which number is the smallest? All right, guys, I'm giving you a minute to work this out. I'm coming back in a minute. All right, so guys, I want you to work this out for me, and I want you to put your explanation. So I don't want somebody to just post that it is A or B or C. I'm waiting for an explanation. All right, so which number is the smallest, guys? I don't see anybody posting anything. I'm waiting to see what you guys are saying. Guys, we are at 103 persons. Yeah, awesome, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Guys, as you know, I've always advocated that we can use social media for education. I sincerely believe that. All right, so waiting on my answer, waiting on my explanation. All right, so I'm waiting for somebody to post. I notice a lot of persons are posting A, B, C, D. I guess you guys are just guessing. All right, I'm going to put up everything that you guys are saying. All 100 persons on the live, I want you to answer that question. I want everybody to make a post. I'm waiting on you guys to answer the question. We have 104 persons. I want you guys to make a post. All right, so the question is asking us which number is the smallest. All right, so I don't see anybody working this out the way I want. All right, so let's talk about this, guys. All right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. All right, so we're going to divide 78 by 37, guys. We're going to divide 78 by 37. And I want you to write on screen 78 divided by 37. And I want you to post what we're going to get. 78 by 37, we're getting 2.1. Let's work that out, guys. 78 divided by 37. Tell me what we get for that. All right, so we get 2.1 for that. Okay, we're going to divide 40 divided by 60. Tell me what we get for that, guys. All right, we're going to get 0.67 for that. 0.67. So guys, I'm going to write that in the chat. So 40 divided by 60, we're getting 0.67. Okay, so let's write 0.67 in our chat. All right, so all I'm doing, I'm just dividing 40 divided by 60, and we're getting 0.67. All right, so with 40 divided by 60, guys, we're getting, if we divide both by 20, we're getting 2/3, and the decimal for that would be 0.67. All right, 40 over 60, 0.67. So we're writing 40 over 60, 0.67 in the chat. All right, let's do the next one, guys. I'm typing that in the chat. All right, 6 over 10, what do we get for that one? So 6 over 10, we're getting 3 over 5 when we simplify, and that is going to be 0.6. So 6 divided by 10, we're getting 0.6, guys. All right, and then the last one, 10 over 70. Tell me what we're getting for that one, guys. 10 over 70. We simplify that. We're getting 1/7. And we're getting 0.14. 10 divided by 70. We're getting 0.14 for that. All right, guys. So we're going to look and see now which one is the smallest. So we have 2.1, 78 divided by 37. That works out to 2.1. That's greater than 1. And then we have 40 over 60. We have 0.67. 6 over 10, we have 0.6. And the last one, 10 over 70, we have 0.14. So guys, we're going to look at all those numbers. We have 2.1, we have 0.67, we have 0.6, and we have 0.14. All right, so 10 over 70 gives us 0.14. So guys, if you were to look at all those numbers, if you were to look at all these decimal numbers, 2.1, 0.67, 0.6, 0.14, let's post them, guys. You're going to see that 0.14 is going to be the smallest number. All right, so that's going to be 10 over 10 over 70. All right, let's post this, guys. All right, what did you guys get? All right, guys. Okay, so for this particular question, I'm going to post the workout in our WhatsApp group chat. But guys, just look at the fractions. First, I just simplified and just converted to decimal, and you'll notice that just after converting to decimal, we just look at which number is smallest. So you'll notice my post here. Let me just put it up. All right, so for 78 over 37, I'm getting 2.1. For 40 over 60, I'm getting 0.67. 6 over 10, I'm getting 0.6. And 10 over 70, I'm getting 0.14. And guys, that is going to be the smallest fraction. All right, 2.1 is greater than 1, so that's the largest number. And then you have 0.67 and 0.6. They are all bigger than 0.14, all right? So 10 over 70 worked out to be 0.14. So that is going to be the smallest number, all right? All right, so guys, if you want to think about it this way too, remember now that fractions that are closer to 0, they are going to be your smaller fractions. Fraction close to 1 or bigger than 1, they're going to be larger, okay? So if you were even to simplify and look at the numbers, you're still going to see that 1/7, guys, is, or 0.14, that would be closer to 0, right? That's going to be your smallest fraction, your smallest number. All right, guys, let's look at a final question. Let's look at a final question. All right, guys, I can just imagine that you are going to get a interpretation of a graph. All right, let's see if we can look at this graph. Oops, it's going to be a little bit difficult to look at the graph and then answer the question over the next page. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to pull this one, and it says this is a graph that shows the attendance for class 4C for a week. Which of the statements is true? So guys, I want you to look at this graph. You can take a picture with your phone if you have one. All right, so guys, class attendance for 4C, and the blue is going to be for boys and the red is going to be for girls. So guys, you're going to notice to read this graph, on Monday you had 15 girls. Notice that the circle is between 14 and 16, so you had 15. On Tuesday, notice that the circle is at 18, so you had 18 girls. Notice now that on Wednesday, we're back down to 12. On Thursday, we're at 14. See where the circle is? On Friday, we are down to 6. All right, that's how you read the graph, guys. You just look where the circle is falling and you make sure you match it with the key. So we know that red is for girls, blue for boys. All right, so let's look at boys, guys. On Monday, the boys and girls, there is a tie there, so you have 15. On Tuesday, you have 14 boys. We're looking at the blue now. On Wednesday, we have 17. So notice that the blue dot is between 16 and 18, so we have 17. And if we go to Thursday, the blue dot is in the center between 8 and 10. So which number comes between 8 and 10, guys? That's going to be 9. And on Friday, notice that the blue dot falls on 14. All right, so we have 14 right there. So guys, let's look at the question. And this is going to be our last question for today. All right, so the answer choices says the number of boys that attended classes on Tuesday is the same as the number of girls that attended classes on Thursday. So it is saying that boys on Tuesday is the same as girls on Thursday. So boys on Tuesday, so let's look for boys. All right, so we know it's blue for boys. So boys on Tuesday is 14, and girls on Thursday, red for girls, is 14. So yeah, we found the answer. The number of boys that attended classes on Tuesday, which is 14, is the same as the number of girls that attended classes on Thursday. So girls is red, this is Thursday. So 14 girls attended classes on Thursday and 14 boys attended classes on Thursday. All right, let's see what you guys got. All right, somebody said Mr. Common Sense. All right, let me see what you guys got for that question. Somebody said clock that. I don't know what clock that mean. All right, guys, so that's the answer for that one. Guys, we're going to stop here. Tomorrow we'll meet again at 6 o'clock. Guys, I want you to jump into the Learning Hub Academy, and I want you to sign up on the PEP Rescue class, and we are going to be going through, let me show you the cover for this book. This is the book that we're using. We're using this book. So we're going to go through we're going through the mock exams in this particular ability test workbook. We're going to be working with this book tomorrow. Remember, you are going to sign up on the Learning Hub Academy, guys. It's learninghubacademy.com. You're going to go ahead and sign up, and then you're going to go to the rescue class. Once you get into the rescue class, you're going to sign in for free. Once you sign in for free, you can use this for day one without paying. And if you like it, then you ask your parents to make sure that they pay for it for you. All right, have a great evening, guys. I see you tomorrow at 6. And remember, guys, that we have a WhatsApp group. So if you want to join my WhatsApp group where I post just questions, past paper questions, we discuss questions in the workbook. We just do schoolwork, no fraternizing, no chatting, no wasting of time. As a matter of fact, you guys don't even get to post stuff. You just get to do schoolwork. If you want to join that WhatsApp group, it's 876-351-7777. You can join the WhatsApp group where you get to do work. Somebody's asking me to put them up. Let me put you up. Remember, I'm going to post the explanation to the math, the quantitative reasoning question, so you guys can see the workout. Of course, there are 1,000,001 ways sometimes to work out your math questions. That's the way I chose to work it out. But I'll post it up in our WhatsApp group so you guys can see it. All right, guys, thank you so much for spending your Saturday evening with me. I'll see you again tomorrow. Do have a wonderful rest of the evening. Bye, guys.